What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and I'm here today with the review for The Oval Season 1, Episode 3, titled The Heat. So you guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and just jump into the video. Alright, you guys, so first we'll start off with Lily and Don. So we see, you remember in last week's episode, Lily shot, I think his name is Bobby, and remember, Don walked in. So then, Don walks in, he didn't call the police, he called the Secret Service to come in. So the Secret Service, they came in, they grabbed him up, and, Lily went downstairs to let them in. So when she comes back upstairs to talk to Don, she's like, so did the Heat say anything? And Don is like, no, he didn't say anything. And he asked her, like, so what happened? He's like, what's up with your dress? She's like, oh, this got ripped at the airport. And then, she says, the driver dropped me off at home, and boom, he was here. I'm like, ooh, you leaving a lot out of that story, but gotcha. So, she says, she's okay. And she wonders, will it be will this be leaked to the press? And Don says, no, this is not going to be leaked to the press. That's why I called the Secret Service here. So then we do see the Secret Service. So, remember, he got shot. So I'm assuming that the Secret Service is trying to get the bullets out of him. But Bobby is in deep pain because I'm guessing they didn't give him any kind of anesthesia or anything. And Bobby passes out from that pain. So then we see Kyle and another Secret Service agent talking. And they want to find out a little bit more about Bobby. He says, did you see those tattoos on him? He's like, yeah, what about him? He says, those were military tattoos. So it's going to be kind of hard to get anything out of him. So I'm like, oh, okay. So everybody in this White House administration, they're crooked, I guess you would say, so to speak. Because, wow. So then we see Lily. So Lily, she can't sleep. And, she asked Bobby, so where did they take him? And I'm like, really? You might as well just say you had sex with him, like it would be that easy, but whatever. And Don is like, you know what, when I go to work tomorrow, I'll check. And, yeah, he said he'll check and he'll see, how much he can find out. Or how much they know, basically. And, she says, well, I want to know if he has a family. I'm like, girl, please, just tell him you had sex with him. It would be that easy. Like, God, he's talking about them having a family. She's like, well, we would have to have sex first. I'm like, ooh, shots fired. So then we see Lily. She goes downstairs, and then there is Kyle downstairs. And Kyle, she asks Kyle, so where is he? He says, that is top secret information, and I can't tell you that. And she says, okay, well, is he okay? Is he talking? And again, it would be easy to say you slept with him. Just saying. So where are we at? And, oh, Kyle, he asked her, so is there like something you want to tell me? She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, you know what he means. He's asking, like, do you know this man? Because you are really invested for a man that intruded in your house. Just saying. Like, make it make sense. Make it make sense. So then we see Lily. She goes back upstairs and she gets in bed. And, she tells Don that Kyle is downstairs. And he's like, Kyle's downstairs. So then we see him go downstairs to talk to Kyle. And this is where we figured out that Kyle and Don have a relationship. And it's not a friendship that I'm talking about. Because Kyle is just trying to touch him, hold his hands, just touch on him. I'm like, ooh, ooh. And he just, move. No, can't do that. I'm like, poor Kyle. Poor Kyle. Your man is just shooting you down, left, right, up, down. This show is something else. It's good, but it's like all over the place, but a good all over the place to me. But we're gonna move on. All right, you guys, so let's talk about this scene. So we're gonna talk about the First Lady, President Gail, and we're gonna talk about, who else is it? Oh, the son, his name is Jason. So we're gonna talk about them real quick. So, this first family, they're fucked up. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So, Victoria, so, actually, let's start over. So, Gail woke up out of in her bed. She was looking at her phone. She didn't get no messages or no phone calls from whoever she's expecting these phone calls from, which we'll talk about that in just a minute. So then, she goes to her window, and we see downstairs that they're sneaking someone into the White House. And I'm like, God damn, I'm like, in the middle of the night, we sneaking the president's mistress into the White House. I thought that was funny. We're sneaking the president's mistress in the White House. Okay, if you guys say so. Okay. Interesting, to say the least. So, like I said, the mistress is in the White House, and the president and the mistress are having sex in the Oval Office. I was like, the Oval Office of all places? There's no spare, I mean, that place has a lot of rooms in it. So there's no bedroom that they could have went to. They had to go straight to the Oval Office. Okay. We gonna play with that. We gonna run with that. So then we see Victoria. She's in the kitchen, and I don't know what kind of mother Victoria is to Gail. She's not a great mother because she always reads the shit out of Gail, and I'm just like, damn. If that is your child, you treat her like absolute shit. Could not. And Gail's like, you know what, Mom? I saw someone that you should be familiar with being snuck into the Oval Office. You might want to go check that out. So, then once Victoria leaves, Gail gets on the phone with her boyfriend, Pick. And, she's telling him to come see her. And he says, girl, I can't come see you. He says, my uncle also works there. He can't stand me. She's like, who's your uncle? He says, the butler. I'm like, oh. Makes sense. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. So then we see Victoria. She goes towards the Oval Office, and, she's telling the Secret Service man to let her in. So she grabs something, and she throws it at him, and she's fighting with him. And I'm like, what kind of fighting is that? But she's fighting with him nonetheless. And he pushes her ass on the ground, and she looks defeated. I'm like, well, what did you expect? What did you expect? And, she starts screaming. He's like, it's soundproof. I'm like, wait, what? I'm just still stuck on the fact that Hunter has his mistress in the Oval Office. I cannot get past that. That is something I just cannot get past, but we're going to move on. So we do see Hunter. He finishes with his mistress, and, Max tells him, the first lady, she came down here, and, she wants to get in, but things got physical with her. He says, oh, she likes to be roughed up a little bit. I'm like, and then he tells her, how about you take her out? He says, by the way, let her give you a blowjob. It'll take her off my back. I said, so you pimping your wife out? Ooh, funny. This show is something else, man. So then we see Hunter. He goes into the room with Victoria, and he wants to go take a shower. Take a shower to wash that skank off. And she's like, maybe I should pay her a visit. So when he goes to get into the shower, he steps in the shower and boom, shards of glass are in his feet. She's like, I hope you don't need stitches. These two are something else. Oh my God. Good, but bad. Actually, guys, I forgot to mention two things. So, back in the kitchen, little Gail, who's a complete and total bitch. So Miss Priscilla comes in there, and she's like, you called? She looked at her like, no, I did not call you. And it's almost like, Gail is up here and Miss Priscilla is down here. And it's like she's the gum on, Miss Priscilla is the gum on her bottom of her shoes. And when I tell you the little bitch would have got slapped, because, she's talking about getting Miss Priscilla fired. And she's like, oh, you can go back and be on welfare. I said, welfare? Whoa. Is that what you think? Ooh. Like I said, little bitch would have got slapped all in the face, straight up and down, would have got slapped, dog walked. I would have beat the shit out of that little girl. So then, she tells her, cook her something, but I don't want to get fat like you are. Oh, I'm sorry. Gail would have been picking up all her teeth off the motherfucking ground because I would have knocked the shit out that bitch. Through and through. I would have told President and the First Lady, I'm like, what? This little hoe got a smart mouth, and she gonna run up on the wrong bitch one day, and I was the wrong bitch. So then we also see Jason. So Jason is the first son. So Jean, I think that's the girl's name. So she's cleaning up his bedroom, and she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. You know, we're supposed to be like, it's almost like, you know, you guys aren't supposed to know that we have been here." And he was like, "Oh, that's fine. Like, you can sit and talk with me." She says, "No, I can't do that." And then, you know, she tells him about their quarters. He's like, "Oh, I would like to see that." She's like, "Oh, well, you know, I have to get permission to see if we can take it." He's like, "I'm not asking for that." I'm like, run. Run for the border. Something wrong with that little boy. Run. All right, now the stuff with Barry, it's his. You know what it is for me with Barry. Barry's acting is the guy that plays Barry. His acting is. So we see Barry. He's in search of Ruth and Callie. So he runs up on his cousin, who is what's that dude's name? What the hell's his name? Pick? Yeah, Pick. So he runs up on him, and, you know, he's asking him if he knows anything about this cult that Ruth is in. He's like, "Oh, man, those are bad people." Now, when I looked at Pick, when he went to go see Richard, which we'll talk about that in a few minutes, I was just like, if he's supposed to be a gangster or a drug dealer or something like that, he is not believable at all. So, yeah. So, you know, Pick tells him he doesn't know where they are, and then, you know, well, and then he said he doesn't know what they are, but then he gives a fake address, which he told Richard that, and then, you know, Bear's like, "Well, I need a gun," and he was like, "No, you're not getting a gun." So what does Barry do? In a group full of, you know, gangbangers, he punches one of them and steals the gun. I'm like, but there are like five other niggas around that I'm pretty sure have guns. And what happened? They pulled the guns out on him. I'm like, how smart was that? Barry explained how smart that was, but, you know, Pig is like, let it go. Guns down, let it go. I'm like, okay. We could make that a little bit more believable, but moving on. So then we see Sharon. Sharon's trying to reach out to Barry, but she's not getting no answer because, you know, Barry's phone is still at the White House. So then, you know, Richard asks Sharon, like, how did Ruth even get Callie? And she was like, well, you know, Miss Nancy told me that she let her come over, and then, you know, she told it was time for her to go. But when it was time for her to go, her cult goons came out and grabbed the baby. So then, you know, we see Pick. He comes and tells Richard about Barry, and he says he gave him a wrong address. And he says, you might want to go after him. Oh, also, one more thing. He has a gun. I'm like, oh, God. And then we see Nancy. She's apologizing to Sharon for what Barry said to her. And then they talk about Ruth, who Miss Nancy understands her a little bit more because of her upbringing. You know, she had fucked up parents. But, I mean, just because you have fucked up parents doesn't mean that you have to grow up to be a fucked up person and then become a fucked up parent to your child. Just putting that out there. So then we see Richard. Richard, he found Barry, and, you know, he's just trying to talk Barry out that ledge. And he says, give me the gun, son. He says, I don't have a gun. He says, oh, so you're going to sit here and lie to me. Then he reaches for the gun, and I'm like, wait a minute. Why are we struggling for the gun? Boom, boom, boom. Gunshots pop out. I'm like, oh, my God. Now that was stupid. Like, if your daddy asks for the gun, don't struggle with your dad over a gun. Give it to him. But you guys, that was the episode of The Oval. So be sure to like the video, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button, and share the video. And I will see you guys later.